When it's a place that I don't recognize, then I call to make sure, see where he is and if everything's okay.
That's phenomenal. That's great.
Oh,
That's really great. You're really playing the mother hen for these kind of. This is incredible.
hey, in these days, you have to.
Yeah, you're not
keep an eye
kidding
on
me.
the boys,
Yeah, exactly.
There's
It's
a lot going on.
crazy freaking times we're in, man. So many things you think are going okay, then all of a sudden something explodes like COVID, and then the riots, and then that the poor guy, and then the other poor guy who got shot a couple days ago, and all this stuff is causing so many problems, and it's horrible, and it's truly a shame.
Yeah, but with problems come solutions. So
Yeah,
we
you're
need
right.
solutions. So we had to, unfortunately, have some tragic situations in order for people to change their mindset and
Yeah.
get better, and just people get healthier, stay healthy. Like, people weren't washing their hands as much. People were doing some very unsanitary things. So I guess a lot a lot of good will come out of all of this stuff, I think.
Yeah, on the COVID side, they were saying that it's sort of like culling the herd. The weak people passed, and it's
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate, but it seemed like that's what was really happening. It
Yep.
was super sad.
Yep.
But now it looks like they have a good way to remediate it and calm it down and keep
Mm-hmm.
people alive through it. That new stuff, dexamorphan, or whatever the heck it is. I can't remember the name of it, but it's apparently really working. So,
Remdesivir.
no, it's not that. And
No.
that was hydroxychloroquine. I
No,
familiarized that.
Really? I thought hydroxychloroquine was the one Trump touted, and
That is
then
Remdesivir.
remdesivir is the one Fauci said was better.
I don't know. I'm confused. No, dexamethasone is the one that is new
Oh,
that everyone's using, and
is
that's
it
like $1 a dose.
Oh, okay.
So they were saying that is what's really helping the people stay off ventilators or get off ventilators fast.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
So I try to stay on top of this stuff. I go to the CDC site every couple of days and check it out.
Are you in New York?
I'm in New York.
Long Island, right?
Yep. And we have a crazy governor who did really horrible stuff up front, and it really hurt that.
I love him. I love him. I think he's great. I think
Cuomo?
Yeah, I just think his transparency, whether he's right or wrong, is what makes him, because everybody makes mistakes. No one knew what this was, what to do, how to do it. I'm sure people learned a lot from mistakes that were made, but his transparency is good. And he'll be the first to say, yeah, I didn't handle that right.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, who would have known how to handle it? Like, he sent patients back to healthcare facilities. That was his biggest pitfall.
Biggest problem, yeah.
And other than that, I mean, he didn't know at the time how not serious, but this is contagion. He didn't really. If our president didn't understand with all the up briefings he gets, you can't imagine a governor making a mistake, and all the briefings, all that information that was at the top wasn't transparent because it was he was trying to curtail the information so everybody won't panic. So, but no one had a blueprint to this.
It's a brand new world.
Yep.
It really was.
Yep.
It really is crazy. So it's nice that they figured it out, though. That it's now looking like it's going to be like the flu from now on.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be able to take vaccines starting next year, and as it comes, they'll figure out what's going to be the latest and greatest COVID and jump on it and make a vaccine for it, and hopefully be able to get it, nip it in the bud the way they do with flu.
Yeah.
I took the flu vaccine in like November, and it was the hardest 2 days of my past year because it actually makes you feel like you have the flu.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so bad. I was wiped. But then I actually got COVID in January.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and it was so I went out on the court, and I can play 2 hours a day, no problem. So I go out on the court and I start playing. Within like 5 points, I was like going like asthma, and I'm thinking this is not right. So I said, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I walked off the court, went home, and couldn't do anything for like 2 weeks. I felt like I had the flu and mono on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And what I gave it away was 2 weeks later, I had some chicken parmesan that I made, and I took a bite, and it was like heaven. It was like, oh my God, this is the most delicious thing I've ever tried. But that was because my taste buds came back.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Your taste buds. So you had a loss of taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really something. But that's
Did you get tested for the antibodies?
I did, and they say it's like about a 15% this.
Efficacy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it came back negative, but my doctor said there's no way you had anything else.
Oh, okay.
Because of the taste bud thing. They say that's one of the things that really stands out in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a low grade fever. I had like asthma. I felt like I had mono, and then I had my taste bud thing. So they're all exactly the symptoms they say.
Yeah.
So my doctor said, don't even question it. I didn't even need to go to the antibody test.
Right.
So, and it's fine. Like I now feel sort of like bulletproof. I can go around like I'm cool. I can handle it.
Right.
So I laugh at the people when I see them driving around in their cars alone with masks on.
I know.
What are you doing? You don't need that.
No.
Drives you crazy. But,
yeah. All right. Well, let's get down to business here.
And we got some business to take care of, man.
I have my document. I've been working on it, and I wanted to not send it to you until we had a conversation.
Awesome.
Because I didn't think it was fair for me to. I wanted to understand a lot more of my role before I expressed my role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I want to we had a meeting a long time ago, and that's when I decided to jump on board and to help you out. And
yeah,
I want to kind of go back to there and see and hear it again, and kind of see. Because I just feel there's some parts that are not making much sense to me. And that's why when I'm on the call, I'm very perceptive. I listen because I want to try to learn and fill in the gaps instead of ask questions, because sometimes if I don't know, then I'm not asking the right question. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very perceptive. And I guess there's a lot of holes and a lot of gray areas and a lot of unknowns. So I want to kind of have this conversation with you to kind of bring it all together. And then I'll have a better understanding of how helpful I can be. So let's start with the let me ask questions, because you don't know where I have my gray areas. I'll start there. So when we first talked, we talked about this being sort of a sports portal for
absolutely
a gamut of sports, and having content either curated or created for those sports that will involve a whole lot of things, or one-stop shop for your sport.
Yeah.
And I thought I can assist by not only my content, my creative content, but my expertise as a coach, and supplying drills and a perspective and a how-to, and this is what you need to do, and also being involved with putting information on there about NBA, college basketball, high school basketball, just being the facilitator for basketball, and all that information, just kind of throw it all in there and have it there. What I'm not sure about is, if we're not talking about basketball until the season of basketball, what other things can I do for all the other sports? Like, I know you had put us in groups. Yeah. Right. So I want to know what my role will be if we're working on football and soccer. Just say, what can I do in the meantime to still stay helpful in the process? And the other thing I was thinking is, we talked about basketball being a winter sport, but as you know, it's year round.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's AAU, there's preseason, there's college, there's just it's really year round.
It is.
So I don't want basketball to be categorized as a season sport, if that makes sense.
Of course.
I want it to remain a premier, just a point of emphasis on the site, even though we're focusing maybe on different sports. So that was just where I was thinking about this whole thing. And then another thing that threw me for a loop is that whole esports thing. And what you received and what we have to do with that, like, that's above. I don't understand that at all. Okay, so I need you to explain that as well too.
So first, let's talk about the broad umbrella. The idea of having everybody I spoke with. Okay, so in 2000, three, roughly speaking. I sat down with a college basketball coach, a college lacrosse coach, and a pro lacrosse coach, a couple of college players, and in different sports. I had one fencer, one field hockey player, one baseball coach, and like 10 other people in the room. A couple of Olympic athletes, and they all sat down, and I put up on the board, I said, listen, what sport do you play? And so I went around, I play this sport. Okay, and what sports do you cross-train with? It wasn't just those 12 sports around the room. It was like 60 sports. Because everybody says, yeah, I ski, I sail, I go running, I do CrossFit, I do. So by the time we got done, we had 60 different venues that these people are doing. And it became very clear to me that if we started with 10 people, put them in a room, they would have about 40 or 50 points of interest in sports and health. So I had to scrap the first idea I had, which was like build a great fencing site and a great football site and I realized what I needed to do was find a way to have everyone get a beautiful home for their sport in one place without going crazy with writing new content and trying to rebuild the Rome every time I had to do something. Mm-hmm. So we built this template, and the template has containers for our blogs, for news, for rules, for skills and drills videos, for competition videos, for faces in the game videos, for the venues, for the teams and leagues. So if I'm a person at any stage, whether I'm a beginner or I'm going to be recruited to college, or I'm a pro, or I'm an old guy like me who's still playing sports, or a parent of that kid. And then you have the coaches. So you have a different strata of this community, and they all had to be satisfied. But there are only really 5 times that you really have need for this kind of stuff. One is I want to learn. I want to get into my sport. 2 is I want to get better. I decided that I want to get really better. So I need training and coaching to get there. 3, I want to get recruited. 4, I played in college on a team, and I'm getting out of college, and I'm going to face that cliff where all of a sudden I'm not going to have a soccer team to play with.
Right.
What do I do? And how I don't get fat like I got fat. I gained like 25 pounds in the first 6 months I got out of school. So that stunk. But so I had to think about all those things. And then the other part is if I'm a professional trying to help these kids get to where they want to get to, what do I need? So those are the basic needs that we saw. And then, of course, if you're a parent and a kid is stepping into a sport, you not only have to know about that sport, even if you never played it, you also have to help them, guide them, find them the right coaches and teams. Then you have to actually act as their first line nurse when they hurt themselves, and sports psychologist. Mm-hmm. And you have to do that while not blowing them out because, having them play sports 12 months a year or a specific sport. So, that was a lot of my feeling was around organically what I saw as the needs and what these people around me said were the needs. And then I said, okay, now I have to figure out how I'm going to do this all. And so it was really impossible up until about 2012 to start thinking about putting this all into one umbrella.
Right.
And then as technology got better, we found ways to build these containers for each one of those needs. And then in 2014, we started building it.
Right.
So that's when things started really falling into place. Now, only the past year and a half, since you and I have been talking, and a little bit longer, has the number one has the team come together. These people came out of the woodwork, just like act of God.
Right.
And so we have a team that I think is really cool, mm-hmm. and they're knowledgeable in so many different, and they have fingers in all the pro sports, many of the colleges, and they have people they can reach out to and get their interest. So it's really exciting. So that's where we're starting from. Now, obviously, we don't want to be building the content for each one of these things. We need to have content curated from outside. And if I try to find the best football coach for defense, get more specific, and that I can get on the site. That's going to be really hard. But I know that coach has done videos and training and has a subscription service already. So I can go and talk to him and say, listen, we want to have your stuff on the site, and we'll curate it with one of the top football players in the nation. And they're going to say, put this up there. And as well, we'll pay you a percentage of the subscription service that you do if we bring in somebody. If we bring in somebody to a coach and they didn't have this person before, we're going to pay them, they get to keep 80% of what they made, and we keep 20%.
Okay, so what you're saying is that these entities or people will be allowed to buy a subscription at UB Sports, and then the people that visit the site and use their services, they give us 20% of whatever services that were, bought from the contact on our site.
Good example is in squash. There's a company called Squash Skills. Like 15, maybe 20 now of the past world champions are on there. And they do their video skills and drills videos and nutrition videos and everything. It's a wonderful, wonderful site. $15 a month. We offer it on our site, and we keep $3 a month. So they keep 12, we keep 3, but they're people that they didn't have before.
Right.
So they're very happy to have an extra person come on. So it fits perfectly, and they love it because they're getting more people, and they're also getting better exposure into that in the community.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
So that's I number one. I see obviously you're doing the same thing, and I plan on doing the same thing with you. Paying you the vast majority of the subscription fees, and and putting the stuff up on UB Sports. Now, as far as the seasonality goes, absolutely, basketball is a year-round sport. Football really isn't. Football is a very specific, combine start in August and it goes to January for the pros. But the high schools and colleges, they end in November, December. So it's very concise. Basketball is a different story. Swimming is a different story because people swim all year round.
Exactly.
So obviously those sports are different. Cycling year round. So there's obviously the seasonal sports are the ones that we can say that to. We can say, okay, football starts in September, or August rather. So we can say, okay, we're going to kick that off in August. This year we can't do that. We can actually do it because we have the site already built, but we can't really knock the cover off the ball until September. We have the new site up.
Gotcha.
So it's basketball, obviously. Baseball is also a very specific schedule.
Right.
So, we know what we're doing there. Basketball is what's great about basketball is that it's different constituent groups during the year. You have AAU during the summer and probably the spring a little bit too. And you have the high schools and colleges start in October, go through like March. So, and then of course the pros spread even longer than that now into June.
Exactly.
How did that happen? How did it go from like a 4-month sport to an 8-month sport? It's gotten crazy.
The thing about basketball is you can't take time off. You always have to be working on your skills. You can't sit and play basketball for 3 months and all of a sudden go back and think your jump shot's going to be the same.
Exactly.
Your strength is going to. So they keep that training in mind, and it has to be year round. And the thing about it is, if you're not with your coach for 9 months out of the year, then you have to find an alternate source of coaching, videos, other drills you can do at home by yourself or with a trainer. So that's why I think it's year round, because it's not a sport that you could stop playing and expect to be at the same level when you return.
Totally agree. And same thing with, I play squash year round, and what I have to do is I have to chill out during the summer. Usually, this is a weird year, but usually I'll stop playing around May on a serious, like a daily basis. And I'll do cross training. I'll do a lot more cycling. I'll do a lot more Stairmaster. I'll do stuff that complements my ability while keeping my hand in, going down and playing and doing court drills as well a few times a week. And everybody does that. It's a lot more healthy to do that. So, we have to think about that kind of stuff, that we're, number one, our primary sport, but then we also have to cross train and work on those other things that can make us stronger in our primary game.
Gotcha. Well, now that's gives me another perspective, another look into your vision and idea for the site and how I can help with all these things. So that helps me kind of make sure I'm still on the same page and valuable in that sense.
Forget about it. You're so special. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I've been thinking about
yeah,
that I could bring to that basketball portal. And another thing that I wanted to, like, there are a lot, even recruiting, there are a lot of, obviously COVID is one, but there are a lot of times where coaches can and cannot recruit. So recruiting is our hands are tied at times in terms of the interaction we could have.
absolutely.
And travel and budgets affect how much I can travel. So I think now with what's happening with COVID and the NCAA taking away a lot of recruiting opportunities, in-person recruiting opportunities, the site could be valuable with getting prospective student athletes to upload their videos and then have coaches go there, and you kind of use it as a database for, okay, you want a guard, you want a post player, but that subscription, how do we get these? Because I know for a fact coaches love recruiting subscriptions. They want anything to make their recruiting lives easy. They will, if they have the budget, they'll pay for anything and everything when it comes to recruiting. So how would you let coaches, how would that work for coaches to pay for a subscription, right, to get into the recruiting aspects? If athletes know that if they go into this site, put up your stuff, coaches are going to see it. Having coaches pay for the subscription will be invaluable, and they'll do it, especially now that they're not getting a lot of in-person contact with recruits. So I want this to be, I'm looking at this more so with how this can help college coaches than anybody else. And I think each group is different. How are we going to, if we break it down to coaches, you have, elementary coaches, you have high school coaches, you have college coaches, you have professional coaches. Each one of them, I want to go to the site for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, college coaches are going to want to come to the site because of recruiting.
Absolutely. No question.
High school coaches might want to come to the site because they need practice drills. They need they need how to learn how to organize their practices better. They need to learn what skills they should be teaching, right? And elementary schools might be looking at, well, what other teams are in the area that, I could, mix my players with. So I think it's very broad, but what I have to do and what we have to do is go from it being very broad and kind of channel down based on elementary coaches, high school coaches, college coaches, professional coaches. And then you got to do it for players, elementary players, high school players, college players, professional players. What are their needs? What do they want to see? What do they want to get from this? So if we could answer these questions and build that portal to attack all these wants from these groups, I think could be very, very special. And that's what I see. I see myself doing that for each one of those groups, making their needs a priority within their structure, and then giving them all the information they could ever want.
Okay, so you can't see this. I got goosebumps. Okay, so you're exactly talking about what I'm talking about. Great. So, okay, to start off with, when a kid joins UB Sports,
yep,
they join with their parent. They have to. Under 15, you have to join with the parent.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can't see the content, or a lot of the content. Mm-hmm. We'll tease you, but you can't really see the good stuff. So you're going to bring a parent on, and the parent needs to know what leagues and teams in different parts of the year they can get their kid involved in.
Right.
And that, number one, is important. That fits right into what you just said. Two, this kid now, as he's getting better, needs to get better and better mentors and coaches and get into different leagues.
Right.
Right? They start off as a youth. In fact, did you see the email I sent out like 2 days ago? It was a big, long, stupid email.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it broke us down into teams. The reason why I did that, and if you look at it again, it has youth, high school, college, and pro leagues and that kind of stuff for that exact reason, because each of them has their own specific needs.
Yes.
And specific people they want to recruit, and also how they want to set up those recruits for the next level.
Right.
So the kid, though, is consistent. The kid and the parent have, okay, I'm a kid. I'm going to play. I'm going to learn how to play. I want to win, so I'm going to learn harder, and I'm going to learn better. And at that point, I'm thinking now, if I'm winning a lot, I'm going to get recruited.
Right.
So now you're talking about college. So the kid's around 8th grade, 9th grade, and he's starting to feel good about himself.
Yep.
He's got to take that the next step, and he's got to build something that a coach is going to look at.
Right.
So there are 5 levels that we've already established in the profile development on the site. So there's actually a part where you say what my physical attributes are.
Yep.
And then what my skills are.
Yep.
And then if I can validate my skills in one way or another, I get a little gold badge that has a UB on it.
Yep.
For UB verified.
Oh, yep. I remember that. Yep.
So that's really important, because that way coach knows that that the coach knows that the kid can really do what they're saying they can do.
Exactly.
And that is so cool. And you start off with the basic stuff. I can bench press 200. So all you have to do is have a video going, 200 pounds of barbells, and you go like that. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with if you're doing a 50-yard or a 40-yard sprint, let's say. You go out, you got 40 yards, it's a football field, and you have a stopwatch. You got a video. Kid starts running. You got the stopwatch going, and it stops it when you get over. So there are a lot of ways you can verify those kind of things, which is really, really important. And it's so cool for a coach to know that kid's not just making it up.
Yep.
And then in like basketball, number one, you're going to play for a good team. You're going to be recruited into better teams in AAU and that kind of stuff, and move up in the ranks there. And then play as the captain of your high school team. And all of a sudden, all your stats are valid. They're all published. Mm-hmm. You can have then another section 4 on this on your profile development is links to all the published data about you. Mm-hmm. And if you are an All-American or an All-State or whatever, that's published, and you can link to that published data. So the coach sitting back in his at UCLA is going through this kid's profile, and number one, he's seeing the videos. He's watching the kid run a 50-yard. He's watching his drills. Now he's watching him play. He's actually seeing how he shoots from outside, how he shoots in the paint, all this kind of stuff he can see, and how he also works as a team member. So all those things are really important. The stuff that you can validate, we can. And I'm going to lean on every single coach that we speak with and every top player. Tell me what your the stats that we can prove are, that we can actually validate. Again, back to I can bench press this, I can leg press this, that kind of stuff. You can prove that all day long. But if I have that little badge next to it, it's real.
Right. Okay.
So the coaches are going to say, I want someone who's validated here, validated here, validated here. And so you prove it to the coach, and then he sees the videos. He's going to send the plane ticket to send this kid to UCLA to see it. And that makes his job a lot easier. So, yeah, I think there's a big opportunity there. Also, if you think about the stuff that the kid is proving all along, he starts off in 8th grade benching 150, and then 9th grade 175, 10th grade he's 200. You can actually have a graph showing that improvement. So he really has been doing the work to get there.
Right.
That also is very powerful.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can do on the profile development side that I've already thought through on a generic basis, and some of the sports that I play, I can figure it out.
Right.
I would know what
you will need to know from me what a profile of a basketball player should entail.
Absolutely.
Right, because bench pressing and stuff is not really important to us. It's more of field goal percentage, free throw percentage,
right,
things like that. So I can help
jumping height, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can help with the profile for a basketball athletes.
Absolutely.
All right, that's fine. And then the other thing was the organizations like the WBCA, the NCAA, and even all the NCAA institutions and all the coaches that I do know. You want their players and their coaches to also sign up, become members, right?
Absolutely.
And what does that do? How does that benefit, other than the exposure that they will get from it? How does that benefit us when they're part of our membership? Is there anything that we get for having membership? Enrollment number is high, like, because I know you don't charge for membership; it's free membership.
Yep.
So the only thing you're getting revenue from is the actual sales or any kind of advertising that's done on the website, correct?
So you got a basketball player. You're going to be tooling around on the site, hitting different things.
Yep.
There's an ad on every page. Actually, about 3 ads on every page.
Okay.
And so it'll generate about between 1.5 cents and up to 10 cents per page.
Gotcha.
There's a video ad and those ones that pops up that's really obnoxious. They get like between 5 and 7 cents for that.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's big. But also, even if a kid goes around 15, 20 pages a week, it adds up.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
So that's important. Number 2 is the subscriptions. 3 is that they decide to buy a pair of Jordans on the site.
Yep.
That's like, there's such a big markup in that. It's crazy.
Mm.
If I sell a pair of $200 shoes, we keep about $80 of that.
Got it.
So that's a lot of money when you have 1 million people, 5 million people on the site.
Got it. Okay.
So that's how we're going to make money. If we charge subscriptions, we'd lose people.
Right.
But also we are going to charge subscriptions to the coaches, because that's,
Right.
as you said, that's really valuable.
Yes. I think that'll be huge. Definitely on the same page. Now the other thing, if you could explain to me the esports and what exactly did we win? Like, what was that whole contest thing? Hold on one second. Just want to take.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, what's up? What they say? Sorry.
No problem at all.
Yeah, the esports and yeah, what was that? That lost me.
Okay, so esports basically are video games that are played by people professionally and on a competitive basis. They now have scholarships for esports, which is really unbelievable. And it's a big business. It's growing so much you wouldn't believe. It's like, I think the number is $7 billion last year. And just in the stuff, the actual whole market around the world is $700 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Okay, so this is really good. Everyone's really getting excited about this thing. John's now, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. I got off the phone with Tony just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Okay.
He's totally psyched.
Yeah, I know.
So, the people we've gained, not only have we gotten people who are really smart and big in their businesses, but also they understand and are really psyched about what we're doing.
Okay, great.
And we're going to have
esports. Back to the esports.
Yeah, so esports is that. It's basically that kind of stuff. So the way that we get in is the same way that we are important to somebody who's like me, who works out a lot and also plays a few sports and that kind of stuff. I'm looking for a community. I'm looking for information. I want to play better. I want to be able to watch people play. That's what esports is all about. They're basically, it's a team of, let's say, 5 each of 2 teams. They're going to go on a computer at wherever they are, and they're going to play game like on PlayStation or PC or whatever, and they're going to be playing their games, right?
Right.
And they'll be, playing each other. It gets really competitive.
Yeah.
But it's sort of clean because you don't really, number one, they're not allowed to curse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's made so that a kid who's 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or a kid like me will watch it and get a kick out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And but people are, there are competitions that are big money. There was a competition that was $3 million.
Wow.
So
I don't know if you noticed, but the NBA just had that during the quarantine.
NBA 2K, yeah.
They had the players playing NBA 2K against each other, and they had
Uh-huh.
a tournament. They had a tournament. It was like a tournament set up.
Yep.
And so okay.
Yeah, one of my friends is Matt Burke. He went to Harvard. He played for the Vikings and someone else, and Baltimore. And he's doing the same thing for football players.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
everyone's doing that, and their fans love to watch it because they're sort of goofing around, not doing what they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing them sort of out of context. So
what did we win? How does that?
Okay, so what we won was there were 2,000 companies in the world that applied to this thing.
Okay.
Of those, it got weeded down to 200, and then 20, and then 14.
Right.
We're among the 14. So we get contacts with most of the big leagues and professional leagues, and a few of the colleges, and a bunch of the media companies. Like Comcast is in this, Universal's in this, a lot of other big organizations are in there. So when we get ourselves to another level, when we build the new site and the apps, we can actually talk to the heads of these companies and get in with them and have them work with us and offer them things. Not even offer them things, but understand what their needs are.
Right.
Because that next step is to develop.
Got it.
And that's what the incubator is, basically $40,000 worth of services. And if we're the number one that comes out of this, we get something like $150,000.
Okay.
It's not really, by that time it won't make a difference monetarily, but
Right.
the connections are really going to kill us. They're going to be fantastic.
Got it.
And that happens right now. So, I just got a webinar today with the ex-president of Adidas and Reebok, Uli Becker, who's amazing. We had such a great conversation. And it was a nice coincidence because we're UB Sports, and his initials are UB, Uli
Mm-hmm.
Becker. So he said, thank you so much for naming your company after me. So, but because of that connection, he wants to actually talk to me and get involved somehow.
Great.
That is unbelievable.
Awesome.
So, but the question I asked was, okay, so here's our challenge. We have a lot of different sports that we're covering, and we're going to handle all of the strata of each one of these sports. He goes, okay, listen, you can't do all 100 sports at once. You have to focus on certain sports and take those and master them, and then move on to the next ones, because you'll have a better handle on how to do that. My basketball star is going to help me make basketball one of the top the first sports that we cover. So you, as my basketball star, is probably the most important person right now.
Wow. Okay.
So no pressure though.
None.
So, but it's going to be very valuable to have, connections. You have those connections that go from youth right up to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
And so, all the parts of that and all the intricacies of how each constituency needs a different thing.
Right.
And as we break those segments down and solve those needs and build the site to solve those needs, that's where we're going to hit the home run. Forget home run, grand slam that wins the World Series.
Right. Right.
Now, as far as the esports part goes, it's a 2-month incubator.
Okay.
So we're in a sprint starting Monday, even last Monday, but really starting this Monday, getting things accomplished as fast as possible, as thoroughly as possible. So at the end of the 2 months, even though the site is going to be launched,
Right.
we need to have the connections. We need to have, we have to validate everywhere we can. So we need like we're having the Zoom conversation. I'm taping it. We're recording it.
Mhm.
And that's really important for me. I'm putting in my little personal file so I can go back and listen to your suggestions and translate that to how we go forward.
Right.
And for some of them, like you and I'm definitely gonna make this public for the rest of our team, because
Mhm.
that's really important. I've had a couple conversations that couldn't really be public because of what was discussed in them. But what I like about right now is that, this is something that's really important. And you and I are talking about stuff that will translate across all sports, all
Right.
populations. And I want everybody else to understand how you and I are talking about this stuff.
Great. Okay.
So no, you're like key personnel.
Okay.
So, our lawyer friend was worried about what I'm going to do for you. Lenny's going to be happier over time than he is right now,
Okay.
because you're key, and we'll make sure you're happy on those
Okay.
fronts.
Great. And that I couldn't answer the question about how many hours or all that stuff, because I mean, if I'm in, I'm in. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I'm not coaching. I don't plan on coaching anytime soon. I think this is a big commitment. I think it's a huge investment, and it's something that I want to be a part of and
yeah.
give my all towards. I'll tell you this: I am planning. I might move to Pittsburgh. My
Cool.
husband, my husband and I will be in Pittsburgh, and we're actually opening up a business, a basketball training business
Cool.
that is going to be ran by two former college head coaches with 40 years of college experience combined, and our expertise in terms of training and consulting and you know speaking is all coming from a, a high level of coaching, high level of teaching, high level of just helping players become, what do I need to do to become recruitable, what do I need to look for when I am recruited, what's the right fit for me, because a lot of the transfer rate in the NCAA is ridiculous. So we want to take our knowledge from everything we've been through as college coaches and teach the high school athletes what they should be looking for in order to find the right fit so they don't eventually have to transfer. We want to be able to train athletes so that they're ready to be recruited, give them the necessary skills that they need to be recruited and even to be of value for college coaches. We want to be able to do so many things just based on our expertise as being college coaches that a lot of people that are at the grassroots level don't have. A lot of these trainers never, played in college or never was recruited by anybody in college,
Yeah.
don't understand what it takes to train the players to be recruitable athletes. And that's what we want to do as former college coaches. So this is something that we would promote on your site for people in that area, right? We
Sure.
could get to who want services, recruit training services, consultation, NCAA education. What's the whole clearinghouse? What SAT do I need? Like a lot of these guidance counselors don't even know correctly how to assist prospective student athletes to become recruitable. What
Right.
course do I need to take? Like, we're bringing all this information down to that level and sharing it so that we're helping athletes. So that's what our business is going to be. And so this falls in line with that. It's along the same lines of sharing information. But I think what I'm bringing, besides sharing in the information, is now actual training, which I can't do on the site. I can't train these kids that are on our site or I could show them videos, or even the videos that I do in my training sessions, I could put on the site to share with, kids in other areas. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? So that's something that we're going into business with as well. So
Okay, so what are you doing as far as videoing your activities during like a regular day? Are you
uh, that we could hire a videographer to be there to tape the sessions.
are you going to have like a whole basketball court or a bunch of courts, or how are you going to do that?
We have a court. We have a basketball court,
All right, cool.
and we're also doing uh, actual college style practices
Cool.
for groups or teams,
Wow.
because there are certain times that a coach isn't allowed to work with their team,
Right.
but they could send that team to us, and we can do the college style practices, with actual college drills, college training. I mean, it's really, we're taking this to a whole different level.
What if you had, now the reason I was asking about you, the video, is because one of the things that I have in the back of my head as we develop this thing is to have videos running on court at facilities, whether it's squash courts or basketball courts, and just have them going, and people can like not close enough so you can your stuff is being watered down.
Yeah.
But just so people can see like you guys are drilling and this is the drills you're doing and that kind of stuff.
We could do that.
And because I'm doing the same thing for squash courts, I'm putting videos, cameras around so that people can just see who's playing on the court.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. We could really collab and do that and have our streaming go directly to the site.
Yeah.
The other thing is obviously, you know, about my blogs. Now those are personal stories of, you know, basically coaching, being a Division I coach and having kids, raising kids. Parents want to hear that, you know, there's so much going on with AU, you know, you got 4 kids and you got to go to AU here and AU there and take them to soccer practice and basketball practice, and just to understand, you know, that sort of, you know, hustle and bustle in a parent's life, a mom's life. And also, you know, my son's story, him being a rookie this year, the ups and downs of his season. I mean, these are blogs, these are actual stories that I share on my blog, which I also want an opportunity to put on the site as well for parents who are, you know, just, or if you have a son that's, you know, looking to play at a high level, you know, what should we expect? What should we expect through the whole process? So that's another thing that I want to bring and add value to the portal as well.
Yeah, I didn't, there's a part of UB Sports Now, when you write a blog, when you write something down, it asks you if you want to, on your personal blog, on your page, or if you want it also sent to a group.
Yeah.
And right now it says member and group. So it'll either go to you personally or also out to your group. Right now it doesn't give you a choice of which group to go out to. It just goes out to the sport that you're a member of.
Okay.
But if you're a member of 20 sports, how do you decide where that goes? So there's going to be a place where you can hit radio buttons. I want it to go out to my parents' blog. I want it to go out to my personal blog. I want it to go out to my squash blog.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I hit those radio buttons, it goes out to everybody. And then when somebody is curating a sport or a group, the person who's the head of that group gets to choose which blogs get to be public on the portal.
Right.
And that just keeps the riffraff from putting up stuff that shouldn't be up.
Exactly.
You know, some guy decides to write a bunch of curse words into a thing. Yeah, they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
So, or somebody doesn't really have something relevant to that sport or to that world, that goes away too.
Right. And
that's also really important that we have some community management, and we'll have people on the site that's what they do. They're athletes, they're high school kids, but they're watching all the content, especially the video content, to make sure it's all totally G-rated and good and, you know, helpful.
Right. Yeah. So that's something else that, you know, that we could add to that basketball piece. And so in terms of being the, you know, developer, I guess, of that basketball portal, what the training that I'm going to need to know how to upload and download and put all, you know, whatever, what's that going to look like? What's that going to be like? And when do we anticipate training for that type of stuff?
How much time do you have right now?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay. I'm going to go into UB Sports and I'm going to write a quick blog. Okay. You'll see how easy it is.
What about, and I think you showed me one time when we met the first time, we actually pulled my video. Remember my video of me going through so it's simple. What you're saying is it's simple.
Yeah. It's, you know, yeah, you're overqualified. It's really easy. And, you know, because I know that we have to deal with people who, you know, who are meatheads and they don't really know how to do anything technical, or they're scared of technology.
Yes, so, I'm not. As long as you show me once, twice, I got it.
Yeah. After that, the idea is that not only will it be easy for you to do the first thing, but after that, you're going to feel the workflow is the same whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever group you're looking at. It all feels the same. The same nav bars on top and the bottom all make sense.
Okay, good.
And I spend 2 hours sitting down with a developer every day. Okay, what if this happens? And then
Right.
we code to that. And then the next day we'll do something else. So it took a lot of time to work it all out. And that's going to be actually patentable. That's very valuable.
Okay.
So you'll find it's pretty easy, and it's going to get easier too.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Of course.
So that's what's really exciting.
Okay. Well, great. Well, I I'm very task oriented, and I want to know when and what you need, and I have all these thoughts on, and I'll put them all down for you. I'll kind of make a little, if we could make a little summary of what we discussed, that the basketball piece is going to be. That's all I really need.
Did you get the spreadsheet with the different phone numbers and stuff on it?
I did not. And there's a lot of emails that's not coming through. The last email I got from you was
You've been on everything that I've sent.
yeah, yesterday.
Okay.
And it was, you did, I did not open that attachment. Price points, product status, creative guidelines, tone and manner. That's our speaking points. Am I correct? Target audience.
Yeah, that was actually from, that was interesting. That was from Roger.
Okay.
He's also in Pennsylvania, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He's like a pro, an industry pro. He's been doing sales and marketing and management of sports for 40 years.
Oh, nice.
He's brilliant. He was working with active.com, and I can't even start to tell you all the stuff that he's done.
Oh, good. Okay.
But he's a super nice guy. He's really fun, very affable. You'll love him. And he's in Pennsylvania, so you and he can get together and get going on that. But also, I want you to talk to Kelly. The email before the last one that I sent yesterday had another attachment that was an Excel spreadsheet with the all of our phone numbers.
Okay.
And I'd like you to reach out to Kelly and say hi.
Okay.
Because she was dying to talk to you. She loves you. I mean, everybody, it's really funny. People have like immediate affinities toward people and antagonism toward people, and just from their first thing. So it was very, very telling talking to each one of you guys.
Great.
And find out what you think. But, you're a star. Everybody loves you so much. I can't tell you. Awesome. So it's really, really cool.
Now, you had another woman, Julie, I think her name was, that had some basketball.
Leslie.
Is she going to be, what is she going to be just with basketball as well?
I don't know. She comes to this, number one, because of her basketball experience and her kids' basketball experience. She has another kid who's a volleyball player, and apparently she's in a large family. Okay. So they're all playing height sports. Yeah. And so she's very talkative, and she has a lot of opinions about her life as a mom and as a player and as a mom of players. So I don't know how you feel about her, and maybe you should keep that to yourself.
We're being recorded, Greg. Stop it.
So that's the whole thing. I don't want to get into those kind of things, but so it was really it's interesting to have her in there because she is not afraid of talking her mind. Right. So which is really, it's, I think, telling. It's expository. So but Kelly obviously she's like a lead dog. You throw her. Yeah. She's gonna chase it down. She was great on that call. She was good. Her. And I actually like the fact that there was somebody that knew what was going on and was kind of like, yep. Like every time she would shake her head, yep. So I definitely think she's a good resource for me just to tap in and say, okay, I got it from Greg now. Now you kind of, give me your part of it all. What you need. So that's good. I'll definitely reach out to her for sure. I'll reach out to her. But so, I think you'll find everybody, to a man, is great to talk to. And that's the best part of my job, is to get to talk to you guys and, get excited from your excitement and to see what your perspectives are like. You're going to be able to help John and myself in saying specifically what stuff we need on the site that's going to make a difference. And then when we're coming out with it, whether it looks good or not, and whether it's going to work intuitively. Awesome. So what I would like from you is, and I don't know if you've done this for
everyone else or what, but that I'm going to send you my thoughts, and if you can kind of compile a little bit of our conversation as well in that, and then
Absolutely.
that document for me will be very helpful because it'll give me, you know, a description, for lack of a better term, of
Yeah.
what my role is, what you anticipate me bringing to this website, and we'll just take it from there. But that'll be very, very important for me right now.
So as we develop, this is totally self-centered. As we develop, can we get Terrence on one of those calls?
Yeah, of course. But I need him to know, like, I
Yeah.
need to be able to sit down and say, hey, this is what, and when he's there, you know, it's got to be, what do you need? What do you want him to, what do you want to hit home with, you know?
Yeah. Well, it'd
So,
be fun is getting his experience in the NBA and how that was the first day he came in the doors.
oh yeah, we could definitely do that.
You know, that would be fun.
And
Yeah.
he, you know, he along the way, he'd love to give, you know, little videos here and there,
I
you
would
know.
love that.
So it's really going to be big. We can really do a lot, you know. And I have a lot of ideas, and I really want to. I'm just that type of person. I'm a perfectionist, and I'm a, you know, utmost professional, and I want my stuff to look great. You know, I want if if I have a hand in it, it's going to be very, very good and very thorough. And I'm not this, in other words, this is not no part-time thing for me. This is not no, you know, here or there. Like once I get involved in a project, it's all in, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm working on different projects. Like I said, the business. I have a Facebook page, Mothers Against Racism, that I'm building that foundation. I also have, you know, just a lot of other things, but you know, each one of them gets the same amount of time from me. Each one of them gets the same amount of effort and professionalism. And so this is no different.
That's great. I'm glad you're doing that. I like to have that stuff on the site too. That to me has gotten really, really important. And it's always been important to me. It's one of those things that my parents instilled in me. It's like, I'm like, not only am I colorblind, I'm actually sort of like racist the other way. I'm like, so, I love supporting people of color and from different races and creeds and stuff. And that's really, really important to me.
Yeah.
So to be able to incorporate that kind of stuff on the site,
Exactly.
I don't know how it's going to fit in, but I wrote this thing for the Hype program, where I actually made a stand. I said, you know, this is totally a color-free site. It's, you know, a colorblind site. Everybody's supported the same way.
Right.
There is no racism or creedism or whatever ever on the site. If it is, it gets bounced.
And that's important to state, because that's what people want to hear. They want to make sure whoever they want to back and be supportive of, that their values and character are in line with how it needs to be in the 21st century.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
What's funny is that my my girlfriend is of color, and she's adorable. She's spunky. She's brilliant. She's an interior designer. And she designed most of the big houses here in the Hamptons.
Oh, wow.
She's been doing it for 20 years. She's an amazing woman. And so I sent her the first copy of the thing that I was going to write for Hype. And she goes, you can't say this. You can't say this. And I'm going back, crossing things off. And like, it was hilarious. And I thought I was doing a really good job because of 55 years of sticking up for this.
Yeah.
You know, for that whole that point of view. And but she was saying you can't. So she had me totally rewrite the whole middle of the thing, and it was so funny. But all
right, so I will go ahead and complete my my document for you.
Okay.
And I would love if when you get it that you add or just kind of put a little bit more into it if I didn't hit on everything. And then, like I said, I want us to collaborate and create a description.
Okay, so how many do you think you'll be able to do full time for UB Sports? I mean, you're going to be doing a whole new project down in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and I do, because my my training sessions are we have certain times, and it's me, it's my husband, and we have two of our other coaching friends that are going to be doing. They've already started. Our company is called Bent Force, Bent, because my husband's last name is Benton, and LaForce, so it's Bent Force Basketball. So
Cool.
they're down there already building the clientele and doing what they need to do. But I definitely think I can commit to a lot of time.
Cool. Excellent. I'm so glad.
Especially if it's this kind of stuff where we're on the computer, and a lot of the things that I'm doing with the business, we can also use on the site.
That's the idea, is that it's totally transferable. And, you know, it won't just be for basketball. Whatever you're systematizing, you can also move over to the other sides.
And the blogs, even the blogs, right?
Yeah.
So
also then, and back to what we were talking about way at the beginning, is that you're going to have a subscription service that you'll have available to you. I think one of the things that is becoming really evident is that we have to have a system on UB Sports that allows somebody who's a great coach, who's known, to build their own subscription service where it's sort of turnkey. So you sit down, you say, I'm going to do a subscription service. It has a tool on UB Sports, and you have to be approved. So it's not just anybody, but you have to be approved. You have to prove your creds and everything. And then somebody says, great, do your first blog and let's see how it sounds. And then you get approved. But then we can set up a whole system where you can do it right on UB Sports. Okay. And the subscription lives on UB Sports. So you're getting 80%, UB Sports keeps 20%. And it might be like, because we'll be doing all the services behind it, it might be 70-30. Right. But it's still going to be something where
a subscription in terms of what would people subscribe to besides reading the blog?
Oh, if it's a coach, or if it's something like that, they'd be able to do videos. They'd be able to do a video blog.
Got it.
And all that kind of stuff. So it can be further than just like a regular blog.
Got it. Okay.
Blogs really aren't worth that much. I mean.
Right. I got it.
If you start adding the other stuff, the other components that can help somebody else get better.
Yes.
Then it's valuable.
Right.
Actionable. So that's what I'm really looking to do.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm counting you in now. I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
I'm just offering this. You don't have to do it at all. I'm just saying that you can take a percentage of what you're going to be making per month and turn it into shares. Totally up to you. But if you want to collect a lot, I think that what we're doing right now is so valuable that when you buy a $2 share now, it's going to be worth about $200 in 5 years.
Right.
So you don't have to do it. I'm not telling you to. It's not like I'm twisting your arm or anything. It's just an offer.
Right. Okay.
So you can get all cash. You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay. Now, when can we talk about what exactly that will be, the payment for the cert?
Okay. The contract that I gave you.
Lenny,
yeah.
But where in terms of you and the financial status of the company, where are you with that?
We're about to get our first $250,000 in the next few days.
Okay.
We're going to raise $5 million. So we'll have enough to get through the next year and a half. And by that time, we're going to be cash flow positive.
Okay.
So I think that we can say very comfortably that we've got a year and a half of running room till we get to the point where we're going to pay for ourselves because of the stuff that's going on the site.
Right.
And the more subscriptions we sign up, the more ads we bring in. Do you have any connection with suppliers like Wilson or any of those guys?
No, more so Adidas. You mean it like Adidas, Nike?
Yeah.
I have contacts with them.
Cool. All right.
And I can always get it too, because I have contact with a lot of agents through Terrence and stuff. So if I need a contact person at any of these companies, I could always ask.
Okay, that's cool. As we develop, we'll hit the big guys. Right now, I'm trying to stay with the endemics, I call them.
Yeah.
The ones who sell specifically to that sport. Right. And Nike and Adidas already sell to 100 sports. And that was actually the conversation that I had with Uli before. That was really interesting. But I asked him about fencing shoes because I used to fence, and that's a very specific sport. So there were only, back when I was playing, there were only two companies that made fencing shoes. It was Adidas and Asics. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at the time it was called Tiger. Wow. So yeah, it was very interesting, but I think that we will go to those guys as we get bigger, and we can say we have 1 million people on the site. I can't do it with 5,000 people on the site.
Makes sense.
So
the compensation piece, just based on, that's why I think the description, the job description is very important for both of us to kind of hammer that out. And then we could talk about compensation after. I don't want to do it now because I want a better understanding of what's expected. And I think you do too. in terms of my expectations and your expectations for me.
Huh?
So I think let's table that for right now.
All
And
right.
let's worry more so about description and commitment in terms of time. And then I think everything else will fall into place.
I think it will. And you are going to be key to this thing. I think that, obviously I said already, you're going to be one of the real stars in the company as far as making things move forward and having the right connections.
Good.
I see.
I'm ready.
I know you are, and I'm ready. I'm psyched.
Good.
So
All right.
I'll send you stuff. You send me stuff, and we'll figure out how it works.
That sounds great. All
Great.
right.
Thank you.
Take care, Greg.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.